Well, good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking on the video. It's the 1st of December, we're on the run up to Christmas, and it's tough times for many reasons. I thought I'd just have an impromptu wild camp after the fun events of last weekend in Storm Arwen. I thought I'd get straight back out and get into some cold temperatures, some really deep wind chill which is forecast tonight, and hopefully a bit of snow. So I thought I'd get straight back out into some cold temperatures, some winds about 35-40 mile an hour, maybe just a bit higher, gusts on the top, and the feels like temperature with the wind chill is down around -15. The temperature's set to go below 0 from 4 PM. So I'm looking forward to some winter conditions in my winter gear. I got some absurd comments on the last video. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but there's a lot of people who are unable to express that constructively. There's a real simple solution. I just remove you from the channel and you lose your ability to comment. So, you know, I always say to keep things constructive. It's up to you, but I'm looking forward to getting back out, and it's going to be an enjoyable winter wild camp. Now I'm hoping there's going to be some snow lying around on the top. If I can, I'll get the tent pitched in it. I just want to experience as much of a winter camp as I can on this one. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of slushy stuff still here. So hopefully when the temperatures drop, this will melt and stay in place and give us that wintry feel on this one. First things first, in this weather, when you get up to the top and you found your preferred pitch site, just get your shelter up. Don't hang around in the wind and the wind chill, losing your body heat. Just get your shelter up, because that's going to provide you some warmth, keep you out that wind, and then, you know, you get in and you're protected from the elements. So next thing to do is obviously just look at the prevailing wind direction. Bear in mind that whatever it is now, it might not be the same in the early hours of the morning or indeed in the next half an hour. Just get your shelter up. So that's the tent fully pitched. First time I've used these Delta ground anchors. I've ordered some more. They're only cheap but invaluable. hold a bit more firm than your standard tent pegs. So I've only got 4, so I've just used them for the corners. And then when we come round to the sides, I've just double pegged them with the standard pegs. So all that's left to do now is getting the tent. Just a quick disclaimer, because it always happens, anyone that says, why aren't I behind the wall? I didn't want to go behind it. I'm in this tent, I don't need to go behind it. I want the views over the fells, so that's why. There you go. Look at that. Fantastic. Sun's out. The rain's gone. We're going to be dropping into the minuses very shortly. It's going to be a fantastic winter camp. These gloves are great because they've got this wool lining, so when you want a bit more dexterity, you can just get the lining out and have that. When you want to get a bit more protection and insulation, just put them back into that. You've got these nice robust loops for carabiners. I always use a little mini carabiner on them. Just hook them on my bag onto the loops in the tent. Well, anyway, the longer we're out chatting, the more cold we get. It's time to get in, get the tent set up, and get nice and cozy. So we're just about done in terms of setup. On this one, I've got a different sleeping bag, and I'll show you it now and explain why I've got this. This one is made by a company called Black Ice. It's from a website called Camperlists, which I'm going to leave a link to. I'm very much conscious that the Nordisk bag, which I've got, is beyond some people's reach in terms of cost. So if you want to get yourself winter camping, and you know you're a bit more budget conscious or you're a bit more constrained, I'm keen to show people that you can still do it with other bits of kit which might be more affordable for other people's budgets. So this is by Black Ice. I'm going to put all the details in the description box below, but it's a G700. It's Teflon coated goose down, 700 fill. It goes down to -10 extreme, comfort -5, and it shouldn't be used above 3. So this is it. Packs down nice and small. It's goose down, and all the spec is going to be below in the description box to this video, and of course a link if you want to go and check it out for yourself. But it's going to be a great test for it with the temperatures we're supposed to experience on this camp, so we'll see how it goes. I've also got these nice down slippers by my friends over at Nordisk, just to make sure that your feet are toasty warm. So I'm looking forward to trying them later as well. And for extra warmth, because we're not scrimping now, this cozy cover which I used on the last storm camp, it's Yeti by Nordisk, and this goes either inside your sleeping bag or over, and it's just an extra layer of lovely crystal down, keeping you toasty and warm and comfortable. But it's absolutely fantastic. I know I keep saying that, but it really is such a great experience, being nice and cozy inside your tent. The wind's rattling round, this icy wind, patches of snow, and these lovely wintry skies. It really is such a fantastic experience. I'd encourage everyone to give it a go. As always, I promised my daughter Emily, she got me this lovely gift to take camping. If there's by any chance that you're watching this, Emily, thank you very much. I take it on everyone. Probably too cool to watch Daddy's videos now, but yeah, like I promised, comes along on every camp. Thank you. Well, there's this really icy northerly wind just barreling down. We'll look into the north, I'll turn you around in a minute, and we're losing the cloud cover, which obviously means the temperature's dropping a little bit. The wind, conversely, actually elevates the temperatures slightly. If this wind was to drop, the ambient temperature would drop, albeit we wouldn't be suffering from the wind chill, from that cooling effect. So it sort of swings and roundabouts really, but you recognise the location. I wasn't driving up to the lakes today, it was a last minute, and this is my closest place to sort of get up and away from it all. But we're having some fantastic light now as the sun's setting. Tent's nice and stable. Those ground anchors are brilliant, really rock solid, and it's great. One of the main issues when you're out your tent, like I like to do, obviously, because I make videos, I like taking lots of pictures. You know, your hands get quite cold in a very short space of time, especially in wind chill like that, and that's just one of those things. You can get really thin gloves, but with these touchscreen phones it's quite difficult to take pictures. I know sometimes you can use a combination of button presses, but it's still quite difficult to do. So some of the things I use just to make it easier, I use this hand warmer by a Cooper. I've showed that probably last year, did a giveaway. Joe, husband, won one. They're great, so when you've been out taking pictures, give yourself, you know, a couple of minutes with that, and it really works well, and it doubles up as a power bank, so that's a useful bit of kit. I just spin you around. Now my friends over at Valley and Peak, I use these are absolutely superb. They're called insulator pouches. The one on the left is the first version with the Velcro closure. The one on the right is a bit more, I think, Becca from Muddy bootlaces. A bit more puffy, she described it as, but yeah, there's a bit more fill into it, a lot more insulation, and it's got a drawstring closure with a toggle on it, as opposed to the Velcro on the first version. They both work well. Obviously this cold absolutely saps your LiPo batteries. I've got my GoPro somewhere, and yeah, that was a full battery on the way up, and it ran out 3/4 of the way up the steps. The battery life on these is absolutely appalling. And conversely, you know, your mobile phone, lithium polymer batteries, cold temperatures absolutely drain the life out of them. So I just have a couple more mini dry bags with spare batteries. I have my power banks in these, and when I charge my phone up, I put everything in there just to give it, you know, a little bit of insulation and try and protect the LiPo batteries. But I'll also leave a link to these below. Now those links, they're not affiliate links, I don't earn anything from it, and this isn't a gear pushing video. You know, you might have things already. I'm always keen, like I say in the description of my channel, just to pass on some of my tips and advice. I've been going outdoors, camping, wild camping, from the age of around 14, just over 14, so I'm nearly 40 now, so I've been doing it for a long time. I've learned things, I've made mistakes, and I've, you know, found out what works for me and what doesn't work. My feet are getting a little bit chilly because I'm not in my sleeping bag and have been out, and that wind is icy cold, so I'm going to try these, the Nordisk down slippers. Not expensive, handy little carrying pouch, Everything I've used I'm going to put in the description. If you've got any questions, ask me in the comments, but everything I've used, I'll leave a link. Not affiliate. If you want to go and look at it and you think it might help you out, well, check it out by all means. I'm going to get these on, and I'm going to take in the views for a bit, just have a little relax and chill out, and I'll bring you back when it's time to cook tea. Lone walker, jogger on the skyline on the Nicker Pendle. So in terms of my winter cooking setup, I've mentioned it on an Instagram video. Be sure to head over to the MCM Outdoors Instagram feed and check it out if you want. But I just use this, the MSR Titan kettle. Great bit of kit, I've had this for many years. Got a ferrocerium rod in there, just a bit of cut up sponge, with a bit of scouring pad on one side if I need to clean it out. And this stove is the EOE Cabaltum stove, remote canister stove with a brass preheating tube, which is really important, and it works well in these cold temperatures. In short, the gas heats up prior to being ignited. Obviously you have to ignite the stove first, but once it's been running 30 seconds, a minute or so, this preheating tube there, the brass next to my thumb, the gas travels through that prior to being ignited, and it's warmer. Okay, so it just improves the efficiency in this cold weather, and trust me, it is very cold now. The other benefit of this type of stove inside your tent is that it sits separate from the gas. In short, it means you can get it that much lower and it's that much more stable. If it's lower down the flame, it's further away from the fabric of your tent. If you're using one of the stoves on a gas cartridge, it's that much higher up and it's closer to your fabric. So you're just making it a little bit easier and safer to cook with inside your tent. If you can help it, you don't want to be outside cooking, you know, just stay inside where it's nice and warm. And this is starting to ice up already, and it's not even 6 o'clock yet. We're going to get this ignited, get the water boiled up, and that's it. We're done for our meal. So this one just takes 8 minutes. We're just going to leave that be. You can either get some heat off it, you know, just leave it in your lap, make sure you've sealed it up properly, you don't want it coming out, but put your hands around it, get some much needed warmth off that, you know, wrap your hands around it, use it, and yeah, give it 8 minutes. Another use for these insulated pouches, you can put a plastic bag, which they give you, reusable clear plastic bag, goes in there just in case there's any spillages. You can put that in the insulated pouch as well, so it's a dual use, not just for your batteries, just to keep your meals that much warmer. I'm not going to do it today because I've got loads of stuff in there, but just another use. They're really versatile, and we can get dual use out of something. It makes sense because you're getting, you know, double the benefit for just one weight. So we're going to try this beer, our one and only on this one. Got to conserve the warmth. Coffee and cacao Hessian sort of dark stout by the Salt Beer Factory. Hopefully it's not going to spray everywhere. We'll just do it out here just in case. Nice and tame, that. Oh, it's like being in Costa. The smell of coffee just instantly fills the tent. Smells absolutely gorgeous, really rich and like tiramisu, that kind of chocolate coffee liqueur smell. And again, very drinkable, very nice. It's going to accompany this beef stew really well. A fine meal for the 1st of December up in these very wintry and Christmassy conditions. Cheers everyone. So we'll get back into it and see what this one's like. I don't think anything's ever going to beat the reindeer stew. That was the nicest camping meal I've ever had, but this has got rice, beef, paprika, potatoes, peas. It looks very hearty and it smells nice. Let's go with the old taste test. I hate eating on camera, but you've just got to do it. Nice. Yeah, very nice. It's not like overpoweringly spicy like some are. The rice is nice and soft. The beef's gone nice and soft. It's got a really nice flavour to it. Nice and hearty. So yeah, recommended. I get that one again. I'm going to enjoy this without eating on camera and just take it all in. Cheers. The temperature is plummeting. You can see the whole inside of the tent now is turning to ice. And if I take you outside very briefly, I'm not going to get out, I'm just going to show you. You'll see why, because all the cloud cover is gone. There's all the snow, some stars, and it is absolutely Baltic, bitingly cold wind. And with that said, let's get back in and keep that heat. Clear starry night. It's Baltic. Some cracking constellations out, but it's too cold to stand out and enjoy them. It's time to get back in and get warm. So there we go. It's pretty much, well, the entire thing is pretty much frozen solid. That's not bad for 9 PM on the 1st of December. We go to this side, it's pretty much the same. That's where the wind direction's coming from. Just a nice layer of rime ice on the fly. Lovely miniature tube for it. Crack it open. I think my water's actually starting to freeze, even though I've brought it in here. Well, you know, I don't know anything about whiskey really. I mean, those that don't know, just sort of like me, could say it smells like TCP. But if I give it a little bit more thought, there's a little bit of honey, seaweed, a little bit of the Islay kind of smell, you know, Jura, Talisker. Anyway, can't really be any more descriptive than that. It's a lovely single malt.
And it's really nice to be sat enjoying this in this icy weather on the first day of December. I wish I could get a little bit more into the festive spirit, but it's the second, unfortunately, difficult Christmas for me so far. I won't say any more than that. But yeah, it is what it is at the moment, and it's just about dealing with it. And like I've sort of tried to instill on many of my videos, coming out into the outdoors doesn't have to cost a lot. I know some of you might think, well, you sat in an expensive tent. Well, yeah, I've treated myself to this many years ago, but it doesn't have to cost a lot. You can come out and do this for very little money. Possibly not in the winter, but then again, use a little bit of thought and care and get your layers on. As long as you know where you're going, how to navigate, and maybe not on the top of the highest mountain in the middle of the lakes or Scotland, you know, go somewhere a little bit lower down, a little bit less ambitious, but still out the way, and enjoy it. Be responsible, leave no trace, make sure you're not on the paths, that you're away from people, you're not trespassing on private land, and go and enjoy it. Go out and do it, right? Just go and do it. More than ever at the moment, it's very important to get out away from it all and just get back to nature, and you know, just escape to the outdoors. Morning everyone. Well, what a night that was. It was extremely cold, the ambient air temperature. I was nice and warm. I wasn't uncomfortable at any point. More importantly, my feet were nice and warm, which is normally the main thing that keeps me awake. But the wind picked up, it's died down again now, which is good. The temperature is slightly picking up again, but it was a very, very cold night. But it was good to come out and, you know, test yourself in, spend the night, and yeah, get through some cold conditions. It can take a lot colder, the sleeping bags and the equipment I've got, so we'll get some more winter camps in. I've just been out, just checked out the view. There's not a cloud in sight. Absolutely spectacular, stunning morning, but again bitterly cold in that wind, severe wind chill. Just getting a nice warming drink on. Usual simple breakfast, just a breakfast bar just for now, and then I'll get packed up and get off the hill. We'll see what the steps are like. I've brought some spikes. I don't need crampons for those, but if they're all iced up, I'll put the spikes on. If not, I should be absolutely fine. But yeah, what a nice cracking experience, and we'll get a nice warm drink down us. Nearly packed away now. What I'm going to be doing, just because I wanted the warmth of packing away in the tent, we're going to be strapping the tent to the bottom of the rucksack. But it's about time to get out. The tent's still icy. It's going to be really wet when I get home and it's all melted in the car. It's imperative that you completely dry out your gear after all trips. Even when it's icy, you know, don't just think it's going to magically dry out. It's going to be absolutely soaked, just as much as if it was raining. Let's get the boots on, let's get out and pack the final bits away.
they're quite difficult to get out. If anyone's got any tips, I'd appreciate that. You get some sort of peg puller. That's been the only nightmare, getting these back out the flaming ground. But yeah, Delta ground anchors. So just show you what I do when I've packed away in the tent, and invariably my tent is on the outside of my pack. In addition to strapping it with these base straps on the pack that I've got, I take the actual bit of guy line on the tent and these compression straps which go across the width of the pack. I just loop it around one of those, obviously undo it and then fasten it, so that if the tent slips off, and you might not hear it if it's windy or bad weather, and I've lost the bivvy bag this way, it's going to catch on that, you know, and you'll feel it, so you won't lose your tent basically. Something I do. I could have maybe gone round the top one as well if I'd have really wanted to, but all through one of these, the main rucksack straps, was just worth doing. It's a handy little tip I thought I'd share. And that's it, we're all packed up. I'll just do a quick sight check and then I'll say goodbye and we'll get down to the car. So just checking for any pegs which have gone AWOL. I'm pretty careful. The ground is absolutely rock solid, but you can the only trace that's been left is where my tent was, that patch of grass which hasn't frozen. Nothing here, no litter, no little bits of plastic, nothing whatsoever, no trace left. So that's it, another wild camp done. In this case a wintry one, very cold, and again some testing conditions which is really enjoyable. If you've got your winter gear, if you've got the right stuff, come out and enjoy it. I've had a cracking time, hit that reset button, and it was great to be out so soon after the events of last weekend. If you've enjoyed it, please take the time to give it a quick thumbs up. I always ask that. It doesn't cost you anything and it just helps me out, so that would be greatly appreciated. And if you're on Instagram, so is MCM Outdoors, come and follow me on there. There's a group on Facebook with like-minded people. It's full of tips and advice. It's friendly and argument free, so if you want to come and join that, come and join it. Ask any questions you've got to ask about kit, gear, hiking or wild camping in general, and go and do it yourself. In winter, obviously you've got to be a bit more prepared. I'm not going to give a lecture. We can all make our own decisions and be sensible. Just make sure you've got the equipment and the experience to match the conditions. When we get back down to the car, warm up and begin editing the video. Enjoy the great outdoors, respect it, always leave no trace, and let's get our younger generation away from the screens, out and active and learning all about the outdoors and nature too. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video.